Whoa! How dare you? Excuse me? I'm simply reading the prominent works of a German author. I'm a goddamn patriot, ma'am. There's nothing funnier than just like objectively white people in America getting so ass mad.
I want to shift to another topic. I've been talking to allies of former President Trump who are frankly outraged. They're alarmed that Donald.
Yeah, Vance says he does not like the comments Laura Loomer made on Kamala Harris's Indian heritage. Here's Vance also committing a little bit of hate speech right here, okay? Get ready for it, guy. Generational run for just, you know, a dude that people hate more every time they see him.
Donald Trump has been traveling with Laura Loomer. She is someone who says she supports white nationalism. She spread conspiracy theories, including that the September 11th attacks are an inside job. She recently said that Kamala Harris, whose mother was Indian, if she wins in November, quote, the White House will smell like curry. Senator, you are married to an Indian American woman. What was your reaction to hearing those comments specifically?
Well, Kristen, I want to go back to what you said about Haitian migrants to begin with, because you didn't give me a chance to respond. Look, we don't blame the Haitian migrants for coming to Springfield. We blame Kamala Harris for opening the American southern border and inviting 20,000 people to get dropped in a small Ohio town. Now, you asked about Laura Loomer. Look, Laura Loomer is not affiliated with the Trump campaign. She said something about curry in the White House that I first read about this morning, actually, because I knew that you would ask me about it. Look, Kristen, I make a mean chicken curry. I don't think that it's insulting for anybody to talk about their dietary preferences or what they want to do in the White House. I think what Laura said about Kamala Harris is not what we should be focused on. We should be focused on the policy and on.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. That's crazy, bro. You have no respect for your wife, like straight up. You're such a you're such a cowardly little, you don't give a dog. That's crazy. Bro, his wife is literally an Indian woman, okay? That's just straight up like she being like, oh, she's Indian, she smells like curry. That's what she's saying. It's like entry level that like a 12-year-old would say. Like, what are we doing? You think it's actually about the dietary preferences? But wait, there's more. Speaking on dietary preferences.
The issues, not what we share preferences or what they want to do in the White House. I think what Laura said about Kamala Harris is not what we should be focused on. We should be focused on the policy and on the issues. And look, so yeah, do I agree with what Laura Loomer said about Kamala Harris? No, I don't. I also don't think that this is actually an issue of national import. Is Laura Loomer running for president? No. Kamala Harris is running for president. And whether you're eating curry at your dinner table or fried chicken, things have gotten more expensive thanks to her policy.
There's nothing funnier than him being like, yeah, I'm actually going to be anti-black as well. Like, why did you say fried chicken there? You couldn't have said hamburgers? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Like, how bad can it get, dude? He said, I don't think we should be focusing on what Laura Loomer said. But honestly, my criticism of Laura Loomer is that he also didn't bring up fried chicken. Because Kamala Harris is not just Indian. She's a black woman as well. Like, that's literally what he did. He just turned around and was like, here's my trick. I think we should be more diverse in our tactics of. That's awesome.
Let's talk about the person running for president of the United States, not a social media personality who supports Donald Trump.
Senator, were you and your wife offended? And do you disavow those comments that even some Trump allies say are blatantly?
Kristen, I just told you I don't like those comments, and I think that we ought to be focused on Kamala Harris's policy failures. I also don't look at the.
She didn't even say nothing about the fried chicken comment. She would have moved on. J.D. Vance recently topped this performance, if we can believe that. Wait, what? No way. There's no way he topped that last performance.
Kamala Harris has been chaos all over the world. She can't answer a single question without sounding like a whatever. And she has she's had this.
Hello?
By the way.
What the fuck's he saying? What is this man on, bro? He drank the dumbass juice. Like, every time he's on camera, it is alarming how bad he is at his job. Alarming. Libs of TikTok spreads falsehood about Haitian immigrants in Pennsylvania. A Republican state senator who's a fan of Libs of TikTok is like, hey, that's my region. What you're saying is not true.
With close to 500 patriots in the state of Michigan in this building right now and outside. I'd like to see an assassin try to come in this room. They come to the wrong place if you try to walk into this place right now. By the way, with close to 500 patriots in the state of Michigan in this building right now and outside, I'd like.
This is so funny. Bro, he's so lame that even like psychos who want to make a name for themselves give enough of a to him or attempt to him. Like, ain't nobody trying to you, little bro. It's not happening, okay? Stop begging for it. He's like, come on, please, 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 please. It'd be so sick. That's crazy. When you're such a loser that people don't even care enough to try into you. Also, if somebody tried to him, or if somebody successfully, Trump would celebrate.
Try to come in this room. They come to the wrong.
Trump would literally celebrate if somebody tried to. If he actually was, he would be like, oh, thank God, dude. Thank God I made a mistake. Also, here's Donald Trump.
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans.
The hate is going to get so much worse, by the way.
You said this, quote, Trump makes people I care about afraid, immigrants, Muslims, etc. Because of this, I find him reprehensible. God wants better of us. This week in Springfield, buildings were closed because of threats. Haitian immigrants say they are afraid for their lives. Are you now doing the very thing you once called reprehensible, Senator?
Well, first of all, Kristen, we condemn all acts of violence and all threats of violence. But, Kristen, the reason that I changed my mind on Donald Trump is actually perfectly highlighted by what's going on in Springfield, because the media and the Kamala Harris campaign, they've been calling the residents of Springfield. They've been lying about them. They've been saying that they make up these reports of migrants eating geese, and they completely ignore the public health disaster that is unfolding in Springfield at this very minute.
Senator, what about the Haitian immigrants who say...
I mean, the media's not calling the Springfielders racist. They're calling you. They probably should call the Springfielders. I mean, it's probably better that they're not calling the Springfielders, because Americans get really touchy about that sort of thing. Like, you'll have a dude, you know, reciting their new copy of Mein Kampf, and you'll be like, hey, man, what are you, a Nazi? They'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. How dare you? Excuse me? I'm simply reading the prominent works of a German author. I'm a goddamn patriot, ma'am. There's nothing funnier than just like objectively white people in America getting so ass mad when you call them.
It's just xenophobia and bigotry.
How scared are Haitian immigrants in Springfield after hearing former President Trump's claims?
They are scared for their lives. Some of them are asking me, even yesterday I got a friend calling me asking me if he has to leave because he's scared for his life. So another friend told me that it seems that he would have had some family coming to visit him, but it seems that he gonna welcome them in Columbus or Dayton, because it is not safe right now for him in Springfield to welcome his family here.
What do you make of these claims? What does it feel like to hear politicians make these false accusations?
It's very shocking and sad at the same time, especially coming from people seeking the high office of our land, high-ranking people. I think they should do better. They have everything at their disposal to check the veracity of anything that they hear. They say that they are high-educated people who attended great university. I mean, they know how to check something to see the veracity of it.
JD Vance has some more wild shit in this interview. Oh my God, what else?
I forget exactly which official it was within the European Union, but sent Elon this threatening letter that basically said, we're going to arrest you if you platform Donald Trump, who, by the way, is the likely next president of the United States. So what America should be saying is, oh, if NATO wants us to continue supporting them, and NATO wants us to continue to be a good participant in this military alliance, why don't you respect American values and respect free speech? Excuse me, it's insane that we would support a military alliance if that military alliance isn't going to be pro-free speech. I think we can do both, but we've got to say American power comes with certain strings attached. One of those is respect free speech, especially in our Europe.
He's like, no, you have to let people say and do hate. Like, you literally... it's not even just about like American free speech. You have to be able to openly sig heil in Germany if you want our support. Now, of course, that's really stupid for him to say because, like, obviously our loyalty to NATO goes above and beyond and far beyond whatever, like, either party is saying at any given moment. You know, as you know, there is always bipartisan support for American imperialism, and NATO, of course, is one of the most consequential vectors of said imperialism. Was it even NATO? He said EU? No, he's talking about NATO. You are an L. Shut the up. Oh, hell yeah. We got some Republicans in the chat. Imagine having to defend this guy.
European allies. Like, look, I'm not going to go to some backwoods country and tell them how to live their lives, but European countries should theoretically share American values, especially about some very basic things like free speech. The leader, I forget exactly which official it was within the European Union, but sent...
That's awesome.
Donald Trump believes, Kristen, let me finish this point, Kristen, and feel free to follow up. Donald Trump is the only person who brought Springfield to national attention and is the only president who's going to fight for the residents, not just their right to live.
What's really funny is Donald Trump brought Springfield to national attention, and also now they're getting threats. It's kind of wild that he's just like saying, this little town that sucks and I hate them, even though they're my constituents and I haven't served them well, is now in prominent display of the entire American Nazi movement. And now they're just getting consistent threats. Why? Because I fabricated stories about the Haitian migrants there, you know, in an effort to get people to pay attention. What did they do after they started paying attention? Threats.
Safely in their communities, but for their right to complain about what's going on in their own community. I think it's disgraceful that Kamala Harris has heard these complaints, has decided to call people instead of actually trying to make their lives better by undoing her open border. But I know you had a question.
Well, and Senator, again, because we're almost out of time, but Haitian immigrants are saying they're afraid for their lives. I want to shift to another topic. I've been talking to allies of former President Trump who are frankly 20 in place. What I hear you're saying is Obamacare stays in place. Let me move to another topic. There was a lot of attention, as you know, this week on former President Trump's baseless claims about migrants eating pets in Springfield, Ohio, claims you first shared online, Senator, earlier this week. Local authorities now say there have been no credible reports of migrants hurting pets or animals. And in fact, neo-Nazis are now taking credit, frankly, for pushing these rumors mainstream. Why are you continuing to double and triple down on these baseless claims?
Well, two important points here, Kristen. First of all, I have heard firsthand from...
It's like two important points. One, those neo-Nazis are my constituents. Two, weirdly enough, those Haitians are not my constituents, even though they technically are. Two important points. Have you considered that I'm a Nazi?
Multiple constituents, people who made 911 calls a month ago, a year ago, who were making these complaints. I trust my constituents more than I do the American media that has shown no interest in what's happened in Springfield until we started sharing cat memes on the internet, which is disgraceful that the American media ignored this town. And that's the most important part.
Bro, you're the senator of Ohio. Like, Springfield being in a state of disrepair is like directly your fault. It's so weird. Like, how are people just acting like he's not the senator? Like, he is not. Dog, you are not some random guy. You are the senator, dude. Like, beyond the goddamn mayor, okay, and the governor, you're like the third responsible guy, okay? You and the representative representing whatever district it lands on are the guys who are responsible at the federal level to bring back funds to Springfield. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you just openly on your own state? Why is nobody asking this question? Like, are you talking about Kamala Harris being the border czar? Okay. And that's valid. I mean, the arguments that you're launching against Kamala Harris are invalid, or the arguments against immigration are invalid. But using that, saying that, like, she's the border czar, she's responsible for the problems that I perceive of immigration, like, okay, well then you're the czar of Springfield, dog. You're the Ohio czar. Except you're not the Ohio czar, you're the Ohio senator, the term we actually use. You were voted. You were voted into power.
Kamala Harris's open border, Kristen, has led to us in Springfield, rising rates of communicable diseases. They have dropped 20,000 immigrants into a town of 40,000, and it's caused a host of social problems. And we should be talking about why Kamala Harris has done this to this small town, and the media and the Democrats ignored it for an entire year. Kristen, I was talking about this on the Senate Banking Committee months ago. Nobody would pay attention to it until we
The other question I would ask is, it's your state. You're lying about them spreading communicable diseases. It's like insanely that you're saying that. But also beyond that, it didn't seem like you had an issue with bringing in migrants from other states into your project that you launched in Appalachia, the startup farm project that you launched. Just like you didn't have a problem underpaying the employees at the time, and then also replacing them with migrant help. So which is it? Like, what's going on here? Because in your personal life, you have done this. You've done the thing that you're complaining about in Springfield. And especially in Springfield, there was a need for extra hands. There was a need for help. That's why the Haitians went there. Whereas you brought in a startup to an area, and then you bust migrants into the area specifically because you didn't want to, you felt like the white Americans weren't doing the job.
Started sharing the 911 calls of people in Springfield saying the migrants are eating the geese.
And yet,
I think that's really, really shameful that no one cared about it or paid attention to it.
And yet, Senator, officials, the mayor, other local officials have said there's just no evidence of what you're saying, that it's baseless, those claims. Can't you just make your argument about immigration without making those claims, Senator? Why not just make an argument about immigration? Why do you have to delve into repeating these baseless claims that, again, Senator, have been repeated by neo-Nazis?
Kristen, I hear you saying that they're baseless, but I'm not repeating them because I invented them out of thin air. I'm repeating them because my constituents are saying these things are happening. I mean,
But there's
just
no
yesterday,
evidence.
a video came out of a migrant 30 miles away eating a cat. Clearly, these rumors are out.
I like that he just like quintuples down with more fake. He's like, no, dog, that's not a real thing that happened. You saw a video, and because you're so goddamn, you went with, well, and also fully aware that no one will actually care in your constituents. I hate this shit so much, dude. They're such ginormous pieces of... The worst part about it is that, like, this is a solid thing to do for immigration. There are so many parts of this country that are in a state of utter disrepair. And, like, the real goal should be integration programs and, like, allowing a lot of these migrants to go there and, like, revitalize these towns. It is a success story every time it happens. There's not a single instance where, like, migrants came in to a state or a city, and then that city went to... It's actually capitalists that leave the town behind that turned this into a state of disrepair. That's why there's so many forgotten ghost towns in this goddamn country. And then migrants come in, and then they work the jobs, and there's, you know, they are the necessary labor force. And then the town starts increasing its taxable revenue, which is exactly what happened in Springfield. 33% increase in taxable revenue in Springfield, Ohio, year over year. Okay. And then now they have more funds. If they don't use all of those funds on the police, even though they usually do, some of those funds go back to community programs and things of that nature, fixing the potholes and the like. Okay. And slowly but surely, these towns actually end up revitalizing themselves. This is precisely what happened in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. This is what's happening in Springfield right now. But these guys at the tippy top, Mr. Mine Lolly, right here. They're so, I mean, JD Vance himself is just doing for a very specific reason. He doesn't give a if someone is Haitian or not. He doesn't give a if someone is Indian or not. He went to Yale, okay? He's a goddamn Yale graduate. He had a trans best friend. He called Trump Adolf Hitler like 4 years ago. What the fuck are we talking about? Or not 4 years ago, in 2016, 8 years ago. He's a goddamn grifter. He doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff. He just knows that there are a lot of right-wing idiots out there who will go, hell yeah, brother. It's actually not my boss that's stealing my dollars. It's actually the goddamn Haitian migrant down the street. It's like, you're an idiot. Okay, you're a dumbass. That's it. These guys weaponize racial animus like this to move people away from the main point of contention, like the top of the hour ad break. Okay? They just don't want you to be reminded that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Now, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Okay? JD Vance got a former professor to delete a blog post Vance wrote in 2012 attacking GOP over anti-immigrant rhetoric. Yeah, it's the careful, mate. That foreigner wants your cookie. That's the Rupert meme. That's it. It's a story as old as time, okay? This is precisely at the heart of the problem. You're experiencing it right now. It's happening right now. So you're maybe hopefully noticing how this works. An example I used to use, or something I used to talk about with like Sweden being insanely anti-refugee, insanely anti-Muslim. And they still are, by the way, but they got this way because of austerity. Okay, they got this way because of austerity. Some of the social safety nets that they used to rely on became increasingly worse. And in that process, a lot of these right-wing charlatans who wanted to make right-wing anti-immigrant narratives, they flood the market with like anti-Muslim, Islamophobic. It worked really well. The real problem, obviously, was austerity. It's so funny to think that like this kind of like tribalistic sentiment is the oldest trick in the book, and yet people still just refuse to reckon with it. Okay.
Internet for every single thing to get offended by. I'm running for vice president because I think Kamala Harris has been a disaster and we have to undo her policies. That's what we should be focused on. But by the way, when I say we, I mean the American media. Kamala Harris opened the border. She made food unaffordable. We should be talking about her failure as an American leader, not a social media personality who supports Donald Trump.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the